Color Collab is literally for anybody. Color Collab for us is artistic escapism. We want people to be able to get away from their thoughts, their problems, anything. For me, when I tattoo, when I draw, when I paint, or when I do anything involved in arts, I can shut everything else down. And it's only for that glimpse of time that I can do that. In my normal life, in my normal practice, without that, I have all the noise. So in order to lose the noise, I turn to art. A lot of our artists that we have on Color Collab are also artists that are booked for years at a time. These are not the most accessible guys, and we're trying to do this work with them so that people can access their work, study their work, learn their work, and enjoy their work. Because for me, getting tattooed is a great thing, but to have a piece of work from each of these artists, something I can turn to and something I can look at on a daily basis, also inspires me. So to get to play and actually use their work in a loose way and have as much fun as I want with it, I mean, that's a great upside.
With Color Collab, I think it's a really interesting collaboration between the artist and the person who's coloring it in. And you know, like in comic books, one person does the pencil, another person does the inking, and then they have another person doing the coloring. So I think with Color Collab, it's going to be a lot of the similar type of thing. Like, we're going to have our vision for what the drawing is as far as an outline, which is the framework of the art. And then whoever decides to color it in, they're really like the color artist. So I'm excited to see how other people are going to interpret my artwork. Maybe they're going to do some things that I'll be surprised about and be like, wow, I wish I would have thought of that. One thing that's nice about coloring on a computer is you don't have to buy art supplies. You're not sharpening colored pencils and grinding it into paper, and then, or you know, if you use markers, the next side of the paper, it bleeds through and ruins the next picture. So it's kind of nice to be able to do with an app. You can take it with you. You could be, you know, you have nothing to do and you're on your phone. You don't want to read the awful news that's out right now. You just, you know, do something relaxing and, you know, just color some stuff on your phone. It'll make you pass the time in a much nicer way.
I think the one thing that the coloring book is going to have, and the reason why I think it's unique, is that you're dealing with images from artists who, in tattooing, are always challenged with different subject matters. You go into different coloring books, they kind of stay with one motif. You know what I mean? It's like all bubbly cartoon characters, or all wolves, or all, you know, intricate designs, you know. So to be able to have a collection of drawings and designs from a broad range of artists, so you can kind of play with each different thing, you know, I think it's going to be cool because, you know, some people are going to like more detailed and more intricate designs, but then, you know, you have, you know, a kid that can play with something that's simple, and then maybe in a week or two they're going to be coloring the different designs. So I think that's the awesome thing, is to have different levels of artwork that you can kind of play with. I think it would be definitely a good learning tool, because you can kind of see how people think and how they color versus how the person who created that would look at it. Because I would be really interested to see how someone would approach even the color palette on some of my stuff. You know what I mean? Because I know my color palette jumps all over the place depending on how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? So to have someone look at what you started and then they develop it and take it over, I think would be really interesting, because I think it could spark something to where I may go back into something like, oh, all right, I didn't even see that. You know, let me go ahead and, you know, maybe tweak that this way or that way. You know, so to have someone mess with your work, I think is awesome. You know what I mean? When I say mess, I don't mean with thinking in a bad way, but to have somebody go into something that you developed and you thought out and put in their attributes and salt it up and season it in their own way, you know what I mean? I think it's really interesting for the artist.
My name is Michael Fletcher-Tiller, better known as Samoan Mike. I'm from Samoa, born and raised, but mainly in Hawaii. I have a bit of that history behind me too, growing up in Hawaii. The history of tattooing in Samoa, they say, comes from Fiji, but the experts who really practice that stuff really credit it coming from Eastern Samoa in a place called Fitiuta in Manua in Samoa. Even now, I mean, I live in Florida, but I still carry that with me. That attitude, you know, like I don't live in Samoa, but I'll make where I am Samoa. The designs I chose to use for the app, I was just trying to relate to a lot of the tattoos that I actually do on clients that do come in, and I think it relates to people on a much broader scale than, and then utilizing my own style to realize their vision of themselves and what tattooing means to them. When I was first approached by Chris about the color collab thing, and I wanted to share that piece that a lot of us artists we enjoy when we're painting and we're drawing and whatever, just being creative, and this is a great way for people to express themselves. I love sharing my art with people. I love sharing my culture, collaborating with others and artists from all over the place, and people who are really going to enjoy this color collab project we've been working on. Tested it out myself. It's pretty addicting. I think the color collab thing will be a great stress reliever for a lot of these people on the go.